But they don't look like me. They don't talk like me. But they don't look like me. And they don't talk like me. But they don't look like me. And they don't talk like me.
Welcome back to the continuation part of the Comic Shop, where right now we're going to take a moment and talk about sweet unseen movies.
Definitely, there are a lot of great unseen movies that are both awesome and bad, and then my favorite, awesomely bad. So we got a few to share with you today. Why don't you start off there, buddy? What's your first one?
You know what? One of my favorite all-time kind of 90s comic book movies has always been Lori Petty in Tank Girl. Oh, it came out in 1995. It's kind of this science fiction action film. And it's actually based off of a British comic book by the same name. And it's humorous. It has a great cast, including, like I said, Lori Petty, Ice-T, Naomi Watts, Don Harvey, Malcolm McDowell. What have you heard about it?
Absolutely nothing. And I will say this, the trailer looked god-awful to me. But of course, it's in hindsight, and I'm sure it was even kind of cool and fun, like in the 90s, seeing it for the first time. But my first reaction was, oh my god, this looks awful. But I love Malcolm McDowell. And I love the fact that Ice-T
plays a kangaroo.
Yeah, he's playing a kangaroo, and it's just, wow, he wanted the money bad. I thought his career was still pretty good in the 90s, but man, he must have gotten paid a lot. He looks goofy in that movie.
You know what?
I don't know anything about Tank Girl.
Like if I had a chance, I would have played his character for no money. Like, it's that great. Basically, the premise for the movie is it's, when in the future an asteroid hit the world and basically soaked up all the rain, all the water. The Earth is basically a giant desert at this point. And Tank Girl is kind of this rebel against Water and Power, the company that's basically harboring and taking over all the last little bit of water that's actually available to the human race.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out at some point. Whether it's bad or good, I think I'll have fun watching it either way, because I love watching old movies that maybe were sweet then but haven't aged very well.
I just like to watch Lori Petty.
Well, she was pretty cute, so...
I think she still is pretty cute.
A cute girl is a good starting point for me. Let's see, my first one is Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Richard Donner, great director. He directed the first Superman and started production on the second one. They filmed both of them at the same time. He clashed heads with the production people. They thought it was taking too long and the costs were running a little too high. So they replaced him more than halfway through production for the second one. The guy that came in wasn't as serious about the approach to the material, so there was kind of some more kind of campy gag jokes. And unfortunately, since they had already filmed the majority of the film, that kind of material didn't overwhelm the overall film itself. It was still a great action movie.
All right.
But one thing that he did do was he really shortchanged through why Superman got his powers back. Because if you remember, he goes to the Fortress of Solitude and gives up his powers to be with Lois Lane. And then all of a sudden, he finds out about Zod and shows up in Washington, D.C. with his powers again. It's like, what happened? How did Superman lose his powers and then get them back? Richard Donner had filmed, the sequences and stuff that explained that. So the DVD came out in 2006. It's called the Superman 2 Richard Donner cut. Check it out. It is even better than Superman 2 itself. Some of the scenes don't have quite the film itself quality of the rest of the film, but it's a minor thing to deal with because the story itself is better. So definitely check that out. It's very cool.
Speaking of like DC movies that didn't quite make it, have you seen the 1997 Justice League movie that actually wasn't released? You can find it on YouTube.
You actually showed me the YouTube video and it looked god awful. So tell me some more about it. I need to know about this piece of crap.
It was basically a movie that was made as a pilot for a TV show that just never really saw the light of day. And it basically circles around the Martian Manhunter, the Flash, the Green Lantern, Fire, Ice, and the Atom. And they're kind of, just terrible superheroes in, just their everyday lives. And it just doesn't quite work.
I remember seeing the costumes and thinking, wow, those look rushed and kind of super spandexy and kind of rubbery, kind of clunky. It's just...
They're incredibly cheap.
Yeah, it looks like a toy.
Instead of looking like it was made in 1997, it looks like it was made in 1987.
In fact, if I worked on that film, I would have been like, yeah, we did this in like 85. I mean, it was the best we could do then with our budget. So any excuse, I think, would help there. That one looked pretty atrocious.
Ugh.
Another one I'm going to mention, these first, is kind of like with the Superman 2. It's where a DVD release was different than the theatrical. The Daredevil director's cut, which came out in 2003 in the theater, 2004 on DVD. And the film definitely disappointed. I think a lot of that was Ben Affleck.
What is it with you and Ben Affleck?
I don't hate Ben Affleck, but I just think it just didn't work. He just didn't convince me as Matt Murdock / Daredevil. And part of the problem is they trimmed that movie down to PG-13 for the theater, and they played up the love angle more. They removed 2 darker and grittier subplots from the film itself. So instead of having the balance with the love and the origins and Kingpin and some grittier subplots and more violence, they took those out, and it just made the love stuff a little more prevalent. Not that it's not important, but there just wasn't enough balance. And when you watch the DVD version, it's darker, it's grittier, and it's a better film. And the good news is Daredevil is going to get the reboot treatment like Incredible Hulk did. They got a guy from Fringe who's going to write it, and they're going to adapt Frank Miller's Born Again story, which is absolutely fantastic.
I love that story.
That is an essential trade to have. The Kingpin systematically just breaks down Matt Murdock.
All right.
Yeah, what's your next one?
You know what? Have you seen Ghost World?
Yes, that is a great movie.
Man, oh my God. Steve Buscemi in that movie. Just, you know what? If you see any movie that man is in, that is probably him at his prime. You know, that in a, Empire Boardwalk.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic, too.
But, Scarlett Johansson is in it.
Cutie.
Thora Birchas is in it.
Wasn't she in American Beauty?
You know, I think she was.
She was, yeah. She's the girl in American Beauty. Great movie.
You know, and it's a comic book movie. Not many people realize that when they kind of see the movie.
I didn't realize that myself either. I learned that in hindsight a few years back. So
yeah. Well, the movie kind of focuses around 2 teenage friends, Enrid and Rebecca, who are basically outside the norm of their high school social order. In basically an unnamed American city. But, if you look at it, I would probably think that they were in, Portland.
Oh, yeah, it seems very, very Portland. It's like Portlandia before Portlandia. Just super...
Where's 1980s all the time?
I know, yeah, it's awesome. It's good stuff. If you haven't seen it, definitely go rent that. My next one, I want to talk about the 1994 Fantastic Four. Producers never intended it for release, but the director, actors, and other people working on the film did not know about this fact. It was created purely to secure copyright for the property. It is really cheesy and campy. It looks like a B-movie, and never officially released, but you can find it on YouTube, and if you go to a Comicon, there's bootlegs of it on DVD that are widely available. It is an awesomely bad time. Look for it.
I think the last comic book movie... it's actually not even a comic book movie. It's just an awesome superhero movie called The Specials. It came out in 2000. It was made for $1 million. And it was written and basically produced by James Gunn, which I love everything that guy does. He's responsible for PG porn. And basically the movie is about a team of superheroes on pretty much their day off. And basically what it would be like for the world's 7th or 8th best superhero team. Basically, it kind of follows them on the day where they're getting their first action figure line.
Nice.
And and everything just goes to crap.
I haven't seen it, but the trailer you showed me was top notch, looked funny, cast, the costumes, the powers, everything. I'm game. I need to see it. I want to see it. And so that we can talk about it some more.
It's definitely one of those awesomely bad movies.
Definitely, and I'm all about that. So, anyways, we could talk about awesomely bad movies all freaking day, but hey, we got other stuff to cover. We got to hit you with our signature segment every week, Heroes and Villains of the Week. So I'm going to start it off with my villain before we get to your hero. My villain is Congressman Anthony Weiner from the House of Reps, New York's fighting 9th District. And I'm sure people are sick of this story, but I just wanted to touch on it real quick because for some reason I actually believed this guy when he said, oh man, I got hacked. Someone's trying to set me up to look bad. I wanted to believe in this guy because he's a good congressman. I was familiar with him before. You let me down, man. You lied, and now the truth comes out. It's true. So that hurt, man. And your wife is pregnant, so God, what are you thinking, man? What a sleazebag. What a sleazebag, yeah. And it just reaffirms that, oh my God, is every guy in Congress a pervert? I think so now. It's just time after time. So
I'm starting to feel like it's a requirement.
It maybe is. They vet them to make sure they do have crazy shit in the closet. So Anthony Weiner, you're my villain. Also because you're uncreative. Dude, your last name's Weiner and you sent a picture of your dick. Come on. You could have done better. So, you're my villain.
Yeah. Start doing coke.
Yeah. Awesome. Who's your hero?
You know what? Have you ever heard of an artist named Dani Shay?
You know what? I had not until today, but you, sir, opened my eyes to something awesome and terrifying and glorious all in one.
You know what? Let me tell you why she's my hero. It's this 22-year-old singer-songwriter. I saw her on YouTube about 6 months ago. You know, she's cute, she's perky, she has a smile that'll just light up the room. But there's one catch.
And it's a big one.
She looks just like Justin Bieber.
Oh, no.
She sounds like Justin Bieber. Which makes me kind of question the sex of Justin Bieber, actually, after seeing her.
I got a crazy stir of emotions because she's got that cute thing going on, but it's like, oh snap, you look like Justin Bieber. Is this legal? Is this okay? Is this weird? I don't want to be strangely, in a roundabout, transitive way attracted to him. What's going on here?
But you know what? The reason why she actually gets my hero of the week is because she was recently on America's Got Talent, and she's taking her unique situation and kind of making it her own, and she's getting really, really far doing it.
You showed me that clip, and it was fantastic. She did a great song. It was very funny. It kind of poked fun at the fact that I look like Justin Bieber. Embrace it. Talk about it.
No. Justin Bieber looks like her.
Yes, true, because she's older. She's 22, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's like, what, 13 still? 14?
Maybe 15 now.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was a fantastic clip you showed. Great performance.
You know what? That is the type... I have a very soft spot in my heart for small, indie, kind of hipster girls.
Oh, yeah.
And Dani Shay definitely fits into that category. You know, if she was a local girl, I would buy her an ice cream cone and ask her about her life.
I think if you live in this area and you've ever dated a woman, chances are you've dated a girl that's kind of got that indie alternative hipster thing going on. I think that's just part of the Seattle kind of Pacific Northwest area.
But you know what?
Feel, too.
She actually auditioned in the Texas America's Got Talent show.
She's a rarity down there in Texas.
Unless you're from Austin.
Yes, exception to the rule.
You know, keep
just
it
like
strange.
The English language. So yeah, great hero and villains. Good stuff. We got those two don't really go together, which I like.
Unless, he's sending pictures to her.
I think she's too old for him to send her pictures of. I think.
Yeah, he's like borderline pedophile right now.
Yeah.
Good job, Weiner.
But
way to disappoint us.
Hey, there's your hero and villains of the week. Let us know what yours are for the week. Thanks for listening again, as always. Hit us up on the YouTube, the Twitter, and of course the Facebook account. And always feel free to send us suggestions for topics or questions, concerns, rants, whatever. We appreciate you listening.
We love to connect to the listeners. Anyway, thanks for listening to The Comic Shop. Again, I'm Eugene.
I'm Pat. Check out our podcast next week. And we got a special Green Lantern episode coming up this week as well. Check it out.
Take it easy.
Inside the system. Cuts. Inside the system. Cuts. Connection. Cuts. Connection. Cuts. The connection.